raw even. Let's see. Can you guys see that? S O. Okay, we're good. Let me.
Was someone calling me?
Oh, Katrina, we'll get you at the end.
Okay, great. Thank you.
You're welcome. We're going to start the presentation now, and it's right emails that always get open. So I'm excited to share this with you because emails are a very stressful situation. Oh, and I didn't tell you my email. So one of the memorable emails that I got is Melody, your account is about to close. And so, or expire, I think it was expire. And I was like, wait, what account? What's expiring, right? And so that's a positive and a negative. The positive is I opened, the negative is the body didn't match the helpfulness of the subject line. So the helpfulness is like, oh my gosh, we want to tell you your account is expiring. But when you open up the body of the email, I didn't have an account. It was something they were trying to sell to me, right? And so make sure that whatever you're doing captures the body as well. Like you can't have a subject line that says, the sky is red, and then you open up the email and it's about puppies and kittens. Like it's not, you have to have something that matches, right? So that was my horrific experience with a subject line. But let's get right to it. So emails, listen, we're people to people, and this is going to be reiterated at the end. You are writing an email to a person. I know we're business to business a lot of times. We're trying to be professional, but you're really writing to another person. And so you should write it as if it's your EFAB. What's EFAB, you might say? Well, it's an email from a bestie. Okay. So that means it feels personable and it feels warm and inviting. It creates a personal connection, right? We buy from people that we know, like, and trust. And you've heard that over and over and over again. So your emails need to kind of reflect that same kind of attitude, right? Unfortunately, a lot of times our inner stiff professor tends to come out when writing our work emails, right? Dear Bobby Desai. Okay, why are you going to write her last name, number one? And dear, really? Like, you're not right. If this is not your grandmother's will and testament, right? This is, you are writing an email to solicit, number one, a relationship, not a sale, a relationship. So make sure that your emails are warm and inviting. So your subject lines, give the email an informal subject line, making it one you want to open. So use a casual sentence. And I know this says the same exact thing, but it says something differently by what you choose or how you choose to write it. So please complete and close paperwork instead of all caps, right? Now, I wouldn't use this at all. So better yet scenario, please sign these so we can pay you now, right? Or please sign this so I can sell your house. Or please sign this so we can get to the bottom of the barking. Or, right? Like, I mean, I can fill in the blank for you. You right now on your notes, fill in the blank. Please sign this for, right? If you are a contractual, if you have anything where people have to sign something, make it super personable, super friendly. And when they see the subject line, they're going to say, oh, yeah, I've got to get that done, right? Make them curious. An idea for collaboration, that's the subject line. Idea for collaboration, or idea for dream collaboration involves chopsticks and Drake. That makes me curious. Not really sure what Drake has to do with chopsticks, but I'd like to be in on this collaboration, right? Dream collaboration. Use adjectives in your subject line. Powerful, enticing, enriching, like those kinds of things. Use awesome adjectives in your subject line because people love to have the experience already in the subject line to understand what the body of the email is going to be. Does anybody have any like additions to this that they'd like to share with us? No? Okay. I'll move on. Use something specific about your recipient. This is so golden. So a lot of us Facebook stalk each other, right? I know you don't like to say that, but that's true. We kind of scroll over, we see something that someone posts, we're like, oh, I haven't seen their stuff in a while. We click over to their site and we see all of their things. And sometimes we see, awesome happy events. Sometimes we see horrible events. But whatever it is that you're seeing, if you know that you have to reach out to that person, make a mental note. If it was just their birthday, if they just bought a house, if they just got a pet, oh, those are good ones, right? So make something about your recipient within that. So an accomplishment, something you learned, something you spotted about them. So your examples could be, was that you at the coffee shop yesterday? Maybe you saw them driving by, right? And then you can start your email with, I was driving down Manassas and I thought I saw you come out of the Starbucks down there, but I didn't have a chance to stop and pull over and say hi. So hi, and then go on to the rest of your email. But that's a great way where you can get people's attention. Your latest book made me change careers. That's awesome because people love to hear about themselves in these subject lines, right? It's great to use first names in the subject lines, but it's really great to be like, what if the subject line was, oh my gosh, your new kitten is so adorable. It doesn't have anything to do with what's in the body of that email, probably, but I'm going to open it because I'm going to be like, what? They saw my kitten? And then, you could add, then you can, sky's the limit about what you want to say in that email, right?
No, Melody, these are one-off emails though. These aren't like mass emails or
They are not. These are like
okay.
personable emails because follow up, like these are more follow up. We can talk about those
Oh,
newsletters
okay.
emails though, for sure. So let's do that. So if you're doing a newsletter for 1,000 people, 100 people, 20 people, I don't, whatever your database is. Well, some of us do monthly, some of us do, I hope you don't do weekly, but some of us do monthly, some of us do quarterly, right? So whatever it is, you can choose an event that you're going to focus on for that month. For example, it's summer. I love summer because there's so many things that you could do about summer. So in your newsletter, you could say, summer's here and I'm giving you my favorite recipe.
Right.
And then people are like, what? And then you click on it and then you literally give them a link to your favorite recipe or an attachment or however you want to do it. But then you're also sharing the rest of your newsletter with them. But the first part of it is, I hope you have a lot of barbecues scheduled. Maybe give them some cool events that are coming up in your area and then go into, the link for your recipe and then the rest of your newsletter. So that would be something. It's great. People love to get stuff for free. And so whenever you can give them stuff for free, right? For Christmas, it's like, I here open, click on this email for the gift I'm giving you or something fun like that, right? Santa brought me a gift to give to you. Something like that. And then you open it and it's another free giveaway. It could be anything. Like Bobby, I think the drop off that you give us was a whole schedule of where you could see Christmas lights. That's fantastic. We so use that. So come up with those ideas where you can mass make it that email and you can even add on, insert first name, right? So it could be Felicity, here's a schedule of lights for Christmas, right? And then people will be like, what? What's this? And they click on it. And yes, the schedule is right there, but then the rest of your content is there as well. But it's a warm thing and it gets people to open it. And if it's the first thing that they see, they're going to continue reading that email. Does that help? Okay.
Yeah, that's perfect. Thank you.
You're
Yeah, that's
welcome.
helpful because I know for me, I don't so much have issues with people opening emails where I'm sending a one-to-one because I generally will give them something about what we're talking about because I'm not sending them an email just randomly if it's individual. There's a reason. So I don't usually have issues with getting opens on that. But when I'm sending out something that's a little more general, like Bobby mentioned, if I'm sending to my, selected list of whatever, I'm getting like 30%-ish. I hear that's good, but I think it could be better.
Right. I mean, unfortunately, for the automatic emails, that is really good. And so if you want to kind of experiment, so start changing the subject lines a little bit. See if you insert everybody's first name in that subject line, does that increase? Does that decrease? If you insert like if you put a giveaway in the subject line, does that increase or decrease? Like, and then just run it, and then from newsletter to newsletter, just see what's going to work. And don't be afraid to experiment, because I mean, if it goes down to 25%, okay, you lost 5%, but you at least got the knowledge that that is not something that you need to use again, right? So whatever you're doing, just measure it and you should be good. I'm obsessed with this quote from you. Yeah, so all of these are personal things that you can do with people. Everyone's favorite topic, themselves, right? Everyone loves to see their name, hear something that they accomplished over and over and over again. It is what it is. And people, even if you say, oh, I'm not that person, yeah, you a little bit, just a little bit, right? Because we like to be reminded of the things that we do well, not so much of the things that we don't do well. Body of email, use a casual greeting. So how do you leave a voice message, right? You like, hey, Katrina, it's awesome to meet you, blah, blah, blah. So you leave a voice message like that. So your email should kind of reflect the attitude and the tempo of what you are doing in a voicemail. So hi, hey there. Hey might be a little bit too casual if that's the first time you're meeting someone, but hi is always a safe alternative for anything, right? It's definitely better than dear. So make sure that we are keeping it real casual. So hello, dear, greetings, like, oh Lord Jesus, when I say greetings, my skin like cringes. I'm like, why? Like, you would not walk up to someone, shake their hands and say greetings, like, unless you're not from this earth, right? Like, you might if you're an alien. But so keeping your email body as casual as you would a conversation at a networking event or a conversation over voicemail. Like, that's what the goal is for your email. If an email starts with dear, hello, greetings, it's not from a friend. Period. Right? True story. Have you ever gotten one of those from someone you're close to? Probably not. Personal opening. I hope you are well. I hope this email finds you well. Raise your hand if you've ever used this one. Always, right? Oh yeah, me too. Still do. Don't know why. But I honestly really want to know how people are doing. But unfortunately, when you start with that, people are kind of on guard. And I'm not. I mean, I guess I kind of am. Sometimes it depends on who it's coming from. If I haven't heard from that person for a very, very long time, that does send me on guard. But this is an attempt not to be cold or abrupt, but it's about as warm and fuzzy as a toilet tank. I didn't come up with that content, by the way. I got that from Money Magazine.
Melody, you just gave me a vision of like of those fuzzy toilet seat covers
And
from the
nasty
70s.
things that nobody should ever
That's
have.
like in my brain now. Thank you for that visual.
So next time, Holly, you go to write me an email, they'll say, I hope you're well.
I just flashed back to like,
I'll be sure
when I
to
was in
say
my early
that.
20s and hugging the toilet. That's what I remember when you say that.
We'll send the GIF that's like of the fuzzy toilet seat with glitter and stuff all around it. We'll all send that to Melody
Oh, please
and
do
say
so.
I hope you are well. I hope this email finds you well.
And make sure the subject line says toilet seat pick included. So I would love that. I would definitely open all of those. And so the reason why is as soon as you see these words, you know it's from someone who wants to do something you don't want to do or sign something you don't want to sign, right? Is that true? Like when you think about those emails that you've gotten that say, hey, I hope everything is good, like it always follows something that person wants you to do, right? And so this is always, and even when I write them, it is always an attempt to get people to do something, like either to follow back up with me right? Hey, I hope everything's going well. I just wanted to call and tell you, or email and ask you if you thought about that thing. Blah, blah, blah. Screw the hope that everything is well. Instead, hey, I saw you guys just celebrated a birthday on Facebook. That's super cool. Next time, invite me. I wanted to follow up, give you this idea, and also let you know that, whatever, right? But make sure it's not these, for some reason, statistically, these two sentences do not do well with translation. Any questions, comments on that? Yeah, and I still do this, and I don't know. I'm so guilty, and just because I'm preaching and teaching doesn't mean I'm not guilty of the same stuff. Instead, start with something specific about them. So huge congrats on your anniversary, right? Love the pics on Facebook. I've even taken pictures from Facebook and thrown them on the front of a card and sent them to somebody, because how many people don't have those important photos printed, right? They're all in our little mini computer right here, but we don't have them printed. So if you want to follow up in a way, or even cut and paste them and put them in a fun little digital frame and put them in an email and throw them out. That way they can print it out if it's in an email. It's a quick print for them. So find ways that you're able to, again, build the relationship. Okay. First of all, I have to say I loved your presentation last week. I took so many notes. That's, again, it's sort of like saying, I hope everything's going well, without saying I hope everything's going well, and instead giving them a direct, positive comment about themselves, right? Been thinking about you this week. I remember how you hate football season. Also awesome. If you have been communicating with the person, just get to the point. Hey Doug, here's the pitch we talked about. Thanks for taking a look. Like, that's it. Right? Sometimes you don't have to build a long lasting lifetime friendship with every single person that you do business with. There are 4 distinct characteristics of people out there, and some of them don't need any more friends. They just want to buy something from you. And a lot of times you can tell who they are. So just get to the point, because they will appreciate it. You might be warm and fuzzy, but if they're a drill sergeant, they're not going to appreciate the fuzzy toilet, right? They're not going to appreciate that. They just want you to give them what they need so they can get it done and move on. So just, if you know them, there's no point in beating around the bush. Write conversationally. So being formal used to equate to being professional, but being formal makes you look stodgy and out of time. Shake off the stiffness and use good old apostrophes, right? So make sure that your emails, even your newsletters, people, this is same thing. It does one-offs and newsletters. Use the informal stuff. And some people, not a lot of you here, but some people get their content for their newsletters in a different source. It's okay. And I know for a fact, you can go through and you can edit that content to be more personable and start, instead of you are find all and change to your, find all and change to your, right? So making it more personable. And these are really easy, quick tips that you can do for your newsletters as well, where people don't feel like they're being talked at, right? Nobody likes to be talked at. People want to feel like they're having a conversation. So whatever you're doing, your newsletters, your one-offs, make sure that it all sounds like you would be talking at a networking event. And this is the stuff you'd be telling them at a networking event, right? Don't give them 3 books of reading to do in a newsletter. Give them quick, short paragraphs that are super conversational. And then finish with a warm sign off and actually mean it, right? So don't do anything. Listen, if you don't mean it, don't write it, period. If you don't really like this person, this dude, this girl, But don't be all like, "Mwah, oh my God." No, probably not, right? Or XO or hugs, holy, just chill out. I'm just kidding. Don't do any of that unless they're your bestie for real. But warmly cheers yours, not yours truly, because you're not in love, right? Talk soon, gratefully, thank you or thanks. I think thank you is the same as thanks. I take it that way. Does anybody have any thoughts on that?
I always say thanks so much.
Thanks so much is a great one.
I think thanks is a lot less formal than thank you, but I use them both depending on who I'm talking to. But talk soon, I use a lot, particularly if there's something ongoing.
Yep, I always do talk soon or see you soon.
Yeah.
Yep.
But the
Or
others, I don't think I ever use gratefully, cheers,
mm-mm.
warmly.
I also write looking forward to our meeting or looking forward to hearing from you soon. Those kinds of things. But again, it's just like real quick, but it always has something to do with the body. Like,
I do stay away from meeting though, because a lot of times people don't like meetings, but they like to chat or they like to get together or they like to have coffee.
yeah,
But people generally don't like meetings.
yeah.
Can't wait to connect, like stuff like that. But I try
Well,
to
those
stay
are
away from
all
meetings.
really good. Yeah, I love can't wait to connect, can't wait to chat. I say that one too. Um, yeah. And then you can, if this is an email like to after like a meeting, just at the end, you can say it was so good to meet you in person. That could be an ending too, right? It was so good to see you virtually. It was so good to whatever, but all that, it doesn't have to be a 1 or 2 word ending. It could be a sentence ending and your name. So don't, again, that's another way of keeping it conversational and personal and not so rigid and structured. Remember, even when you are business to business, you're always person writing to another person. So just like when we were kids and we'd go up to each other and say, "You want to play?" With no holds barred, this is what we need to do, and just start a conversation and say, "Hey, it was so awesome to see you at that networking event. You want to do a Zoom?" Like it's just that easy. And looking forward to hearing from you soon. Period. It can be that easy, and you're gonna get a lot of um, responses from that. Any comments or additions? I'd love to hear them.
One thing I really hate